Okay, back to the video. So yes, looks lower, looks quick on the way up, good. The back is straight, good. The pelvis doesn't look like you're tilting your butt, you know, all the way around. The pelvis is good. Pressure through the heel, good. You are lifting your toes a little bit, so even though the pressure has to be mainly through your heel, like you're pushing the floor away from you in a squat, it does benefit when you have like a tripod, like a triangle pressure distributed. So, you know, the ball of your foot, let's call this the ball of your foot, and here's your toes, right? And then by your pinky, there's like, essentially you put pressure throughout this whole area, right by your toes, and then your heel. So I would try to press kind of more uniformly through these areas, so you're not messing with your toes at all. Just stick your feet, plant them into the ground, and grab the ground. Socks are fine. I'm seeing you're standing on wood, so they can be a little slippery. Let's make sure that in no exercises your feet shuffle around. And if that requires for you to wear Keds, Converse, something with rubber sole that can stick to the floor and not slide, that would be great. Or if you're not a germaphobe, you can take your socks off. I love deadlifting without my socks. I think it's better than in any shoes because you can spread your toes, they can like grip the ground, but that's, you know, if your gym is clean.
No, I work in a hospital, so I'm not scared of germs.
Yeah, so you can try that and let me know how that feels. That will be a little more beneficial for the deadlift because for a squat, I do recommend a slightly heeled shoe. But if you don't have those, where we can learn to squat with an empty bar with no shoes, that's totally fine.
Okay.
You are using a 45. Is that a 45 pound bar?
It is.
Damn, because last time you could barely get down with it, and this time, wow.
No, I was surprised. I was like, oh, okay. I started, I watched the video that you sent me with the guy with the block in front of him. And that visual helped me to realize, okay, well, like what to do with my whole body. And so I practiced it at home a few times with nothing in my hands, just pretending like I had something in my hands.
Yeah.
Just to get the form right. And so, and then you talking about tightening everything, that helped. But I noticed when I went up in the weight, I would forget. I would tighten it first and then I'd go down and lose my focus.
Yeah, if you forget to tighten up, like that's why I missed my third attempt in the competition. I was so scared of the weight that I've never tried before that I like let go of everything on the inside.
Yep.
And I just collapsed. I could have gotten it, but even if I didn't get it, just relaxing everything did not help. I just like, if you could watch the video, I relax and I go down and I'm like, nope, and the spotters just cut me up.
Yeah.
I would say the last comment on your squat would be, don't crawl down. You get up so quickly. It's 45. You're a strong woman. You can go down a little faster. Josh did that at the gym too, actually. He was crawling down with the weight on bench and on squat. And I feel like that made him a little more tired when he on the way down, so he could do less repetitions on the way up. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which
it's hard just because I'm not sure if it's what you're afraid of, but I'm afraid of if I come down too quick, it's just gonna collapse down on me.
Right, which like it can. Let me see. I think I sent you some videos. Let me see Josh's videos. Let's see the squat. So this is Josh's squat. Oh, come on, download. Interesting. Okay. Very interesting. All right, it doesn't want to show us the Joshua squat, so maybe next time. We'll find it.
Nobody wants to see that.
Let's look at what else this is doing. And you put some weights on. Damn, is this 10 pounds on each side?
I think so. I went 10 on each and then I went 20 on each. The 20 on each was too much. Like I could do it, but not in maintain form.
You see these bars on the sides?
Mm-hmm.
Raise them up so that
I forgot about that.
would be like right here. Yeah, so ideally that would be raised to pretty much almost touch your bar when you go down. You'd be like an inch away. And that will give you such confidence. If you don't have a spotter, I would still get a spotter for this, because like you're afraid you're not gonna like this is a no squat. You're going up to here, you know. Like I actually posted on my story. I know you checked it yesterday. I did half squats yesterday. It's a separate exercise. You squat halfway down. That's what you were doing.
So I literally half-assed it.
Well, you didn't with the bar. It looked pretty decent. And all I care about is progress. It looks better than last time, and the next time is going to look better than this time. So that's what I care about. So from previous time till now, there's like a world of a difference. So that's all that matters.
That's
so this one, you still worked your legs and your core and everything. You just didn't go all the way down. But if you got a spotter, I feel like you could do it.
Yeah. Still haven't worked up the courage to ask for a spot yet.
So you either need to let me know, hey, I'm not comfortable getting a spotter yet, and I'll give you lighter weights, or you tell me, we're gonna work out the way that is optimal for me to get strong as fuck as soon as possible, and then I'll give you the weights that I think are perfectly fine for you, but you'll have to get a spotter for that. Sorry, it's just unsafe otherwise, and it's just gonna be so much easier here,
Mm-hmm.
So you let me know which way you want it.
I know I'm not there yet, but with me, it's like, I don't really know until I'm in the moment. Sometimes I get in the gym and I'm like, well, screw it. I'm just going to do this thing. It's not that big of a deal. Then other times I get in there and I'm like, not today. It's not happening today.
Okay, well then I may give you some pin squats. So pin squats are the things where you put these pins that are on the side, the safety pins, you put them up, and when you squat down, you touch them and you get up. So it's very safe. And if it's a no squat, you just go down and the bar stays on the pins. So may you do that to work up your courage a little bit. Is that okay?
What is a pin? Is it the same as the plates, like the weights?
These safety bars.
Okay.
The same matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're called either safety bars or pins, because it can be different shaped. Sometimes they're just sticks that have pins, and you put them through the rack and they stick out, and the weight can rest on them.
Okay, yeah, I think I can. That might be a good bridge. I think if I do that a couple times, then at some point I'm going to find somebody that's like, I think I'll ask them to spot me. It'll eventually come to me.
Yeah. So cool. No spotter. That means you get box squats and pin squats, which are actually harder. But
that's my punishment.
It's just, when you refuse to get a spot, I'm like, all right.
So then eventually I'll be like, screw that. I'm going to ask somebody to spot me. I'm not doing this anymore.
Okay, let me reassure you. Let me reassure you on this. If you do get box squats and pin squats, those are not replaceable with normal squats. So if you're like, oh, this is hard, I don't want to do this anymore, you can't get a spot anymore. I already changed your program. We already decided on something else. You need to suffer through that, and then next week you'll tell me how painful and awful it was, and then next week maybe I'll give you the squats that are normal, and then you can get a spotter. But deciding on that in the moment will mess with our program.
So if I'm doing that type of squat, I can't just say today's the day. I have to finish it that way and then tell you I don't want to do that again.
Oh yeah.
That's good. That's a good strategy. You know how to work with my stubborn self.
Well, yeah, because all of these exercises are really different. For example, like when Josh and I were at the gym, he started warming up with a safety bar. The safety bar is a bar that's not 45, it's I think 60 or 55. It's heavier. And it's a longer bar that is, so the normal bar is straight, and the safety bar, it goes like down and out. So when you put it on yourself, the weight is forward. It's more forward. So it uses more of your core and quads, and it also has these handles. You can put them around your neck and hold it at the front. So even though it lays on your back, you can hold it at the front and, you know, not really use that much of your lats to squat. So anyways, different exercise. Josh was warming up with a safety bar, but we were going to test back squats. And he was very confused why I kept asking, hey, so why are you using this bar? Do you want to switch to a normal bar? Because we're testing back squats, not safety squats. And he was very confused because he didn't realize it was a different exercise. But yeah, these are all different. They're not interchangeable. There will be in your program in different times for different reasons. You cannot replace them.
That's funny. There's so much to learn. I was talking to a friend of mine about working out, and she was like, what's that term? What does that mean? What does that mean? I was like, oh, I've learned a few things I didn't realize.
No, you're like a dictionary of all these terms now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope your girlfriends get curious. Maybe they can come hang out with us and show us some Chloe Ting arm circles, how hard those are.
Oh, listen, I was telling my friend, I said, I can already see a difference in my ass. And she was like, I've been trying to do something with my ass for years. I hate you. And I was like, well, you just come see Katya, you know, she's got me working it out. So it's like, I'm going to see if I can recruit her.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know if I told you guys that, but if you guys refer anybody, you get a 10% rebate for anything that they buy. So
Awesome.
if they sign up for, I don't know, if they buy $100 or $1,000 worth of stuff, you get, you know, $10 or $100, like applied as a credit to your next month. So
sweet.
Yeah. More friends and better for me, so I don't have to spend that money on ads. I can just give it to you instead.
Right.
All right, bench. I'm so excited. Bench looked really good last time.
It was much better this week.
Good.
When the blood pressure is up, I can actually do something.
Did I give you pause bench? The first one, you like laid it on your chest.
I don't know that I know where it's supposed to go.
Okay, so if it says just a certain amount of reps, then you're fine. If it says pause at the bottom, then you bring the bar to your chest and you hold it. You don't lay it on your chest, you pause, but you hold it, you stay tight. Everything, your chest, your back, your triceps, everything stays tight, and you exhale and you push it up. The reason I asked is because the very first rep, it just looked like you laid it on your chest, thought about something, you're like, actually, let's press it up.
I was thinking about something. I don't remember what it was though.
Yeah, so I would recommend not relaxing at the bottom in any lift, in a bench or in squat. Because there's Tanina. Hey, Tanina.
Hi.
We are looking at Lisa's awesome workout videos from this week, and we can look at one of yours later too, and one of Josh's. So yeah, I would recommend staying tight and not letting relax at the bottom of the lift, because if you think about it, like think that you're about to squat, like you brace your back, you brace your core, like now, and then you relax, right? And you brace again. It's more work if you relax and then brace, relax and then brace. But if you stay braced, if everything stays tight as you go up and down, or as you move weight up and down, then it is easier on your body, it is easier on your joints. If you relax even for a second, then say you're doing the bench press, right? The barbell is in your hands, you press it down and you relax your triceps, you relax your chest. What is going to take a hit? Your elbow, your shoulder. How do people get tendonitis and all of these things? They forget and they relax. And your body is like, there's weight. It relies on the skeletal system now because the muscles are not holding up the weight. That causes injuries. It won't cause injuries with a 45-pound barbell, but if you had 100 pounds, or I don't know, 200 pounds, however much is the breaking point of your bones, and over time, it builds up injuries. So don't do that.
That's definitely not what I want to do then, yeah.
Yeah. Did I give you a narrow grip bench also? I don't remember.
I don't remember that.
Okay, because I think I gave you 81 centimeter bench. what if I think a specific, well, this week I definitely wrote you 81 centimeter bench because I noticed you grab very narrow. So if you look at the barbell, there's a center girdle that only has the little hashing marks, the texture for your neck. So you put it on your neck, like below your neck, obviously, not on your neck. If you put it on your back, right below your neck, and that little texture grabs your shirt and it doesn't slide anywhere. So then there's texture after that middle spot until there's plates. This whole, this doesn't have texture, only a little texture for the neck. And then after the middle, there's texture for the rest of the barbell. But there's little marks 81 centimeters apart. They're about 2, maybe if you're a tiny person, 3 shoulder widths wide. So they are about this wide. They're not that wide. So you're grabbing kind of like shoulder width-ish. See, when you landed, your elbows are close to your body and your fists are by your chest, right? When I'm saying competition grip or 81 centimeter grip, it needs to be here. So it is wider, it targets your chest more. What you are doing is great, but it is more for the triceps. I've added some more stuff for you for the triceps, so I bet your triceps is hella sore and your chest is like, we didn't do much today. Is that
well, where I'm sore is I have kind of a chronic thing with this upper back on the left side around the shoulder blade.
Yeah.
And my neck. And so that's been pretty fired up. A little bit on the right, but mostly on the left. And I think the reason I kept going so narrow on that is because I thought when I watched the instructional video, he had his elbows in tight like that.
Right.
But it needs to be more like this.
I will say explicitly what width, okay? That's why I'm asking. I don't remember which bench I gave you. I just see that you're doing this twice the same way. So I may have given you narrow grip first. But then I feel like I've given you the wider bench. So let's just pay attention to that next time. But it's not really a big deal because you're only doing the bar.
Okay.
Did it feel easy all the way through? The last one was kind of a little bit slower, a little bit.
Yeah, the very end was a little iffy, but other than that, it was pretty good.
All right. Cool. And I think that's it. Let me see if I can pull up Josh's videos because Josh's videos were super interesting.
It's a good word for it.
I mean, they were interesting, I think. Do you not agree?
Oh yeah, very enlightening.
I like your shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
Mine or cat? Oh, okay.
It says "Hail Satan."
Is that how it's pronounced?
Satan, yeah.
I thought it was Satan, but after I saw your shirt, I was like, oh, Satan.
I need to save class videos somewhere else. They're all together with my other videos. And I'm like, Okay, I found Tanina's very first deadlift. I think that was a while ago. And then I'm going to show you some of my videos.
Rushing it.
Tanina, yeah, she's super strong. It blows my mind. I did not write everything down on my phone, like the weights that we were doing. But I think we were doing like 115-pound deadlifts or something like that. And for 6, and it looks really easy. So let me see if I can find both last time and this week. And do you see the video?
Mm-hmm.
She also has really good leverages. Like the hips can go wide, the knees follow toes, no problem. Her arms go down and the back stays straight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only feedback I think I gave you, Janina, on the first time, and it was a lot better on the second time, is like you kind of bend the elbow a little bit and then just yank the barbell off the floor. But it was getting a lot better on the second time we did it. So that looked awesome. And this is only, let's see, this is 95 pounds. So that's not, I guess, not too heavy. And this was for 4 or 6 reps, and we went up a little bit and added weight next time. Oh, come on, where's the workout? Ah, I've got a squat too. Got to need a squat. Are you sore, Tanina? How are you feeling after all your workouts and kickboxing and everything else?
I'm okay for the most part. I think my hip still feels funny on that one side, but I'm fine.
Is it on moving it to the side and back?
Yeah.
Is walking okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Is there any pain or any like clicking?
No, it just feels weird when I move it like in certain directions.
Yeah. Well, keep watching it, please. And if there's any pain at all, let me know. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Lisa, look at the squat. I think this was our first time. Look how low. You see the safety bars?
What?
I know. And you can see the hip. It goes below.
Right.
Below the knee. So that's called, you know, an ATG squat, or in the bodybuilder language, ass to grass squat. That's the best squat that you can get. If you call people, you know, if you see people at the gym like pointing something, being like, look at that ATG, that's like the best compliment ever. So
Oh yeah, that's phenomenal. You're a rock star, Tanina.
And we did pause squats next time. So here, Tanina pauses really well at the bottom, and I think no, this is pause squats. This is our second time squatting, not the first. And I'm commanding, if I turn the sound on, I would be saying squat and then up, squat and then up. So you see how she pauses a little bit at the bottom. So that's kind of the goal. In competition, you have to do that. You have to go down, like pause for half a second and then go up. And that's with all lifts. That's with bench too. You go down, you pause for half a second, and then you go up. And you have to stay tight. So this was with slightly lighter weight than the previous time, but it probably was harder because time under tension was longer.
Yeah, that's amazing. You give me something to live up to.
And this are bench. So, okay, you can actually see all of the texture in the barbell right now. So this is what I was talking about. The barbell is, this is the center girdle. There's slight texture in the middle for your upper back, right? This is flat. Then if I say grip narrow, you grip right here when the texture starts changing. On the non-smooth texture, you always grab the bar where it is non-smooth because it's easier to grab. It's made for grabbing. Smooth is made for not grabbing.
Okay.
And then right where Janina's pinky is 81 centimeter marks. So in competition, you have to put your fingers on these. You can put them here, you can put them here, but it doesn't matter. They have to touch them. And your chest works and your lats work the best if you go a little wider. If you go narrower, mainly triceps. If you're a tall, huge dude with huge long arms, then you can even grab wider, but that would technically be not allowed in competitions. So anyways, so look at the setup. She's pushing through her feet into the floor firmly. She's bridging a little bit in upper chest. And as the bar goes down, she's going to reach the chest up towards the bar. Oh, I'm being upset about how the bar is a little further up. Yeah, so as it got heavier, the bar went a little closer to the neck level, and it's not the safest for the shoulder. I was spotting, so we were fine. And it was not too heavy. I don't know. I was really happy with this whole bench. This is, let's see, this is 85 pounds. So I was really happy. How did you feel, Tanina?
It was okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So as we keep improving, what you'll probably notice is that the bar will go up and down more in one line, because when you just start doing this, it feels like it wiggles all over the place. And for me, it's felt like that for a while. And when you go up in weight, it starts wiggling again. Like, there's no solution except do this more and do this heavier when you have a spotter. So yeah. Do. Here is Josh. Let's see if it opens. It's the first time I didn't want to open. All right. So mistake number one is he's looking down. The bar's a little lower than Lisa's and Tanina's because he's done this before. So let's judge an experienced lifter. No, I'm kidding. I used to look down for many years before somebody corrected me. And I wish people said something, because if you think about it, you want to support the bar, you want for it to lay on your neck, and you want to pull it down on your back with your arms, which allows you to engage your lats and stay very tight in your back. If you don't engage your lats or these like wings underneath the scapula, then your lower back and the rest of your core has to do the work. And you would rather just engage everything, right? It's there. So if you don't look down, if you pick a spot, I don't know, a fly on the wall, and just stare at that same spot that is a little higher than your head. Like I usually pick the top of the mirror and I stare at that. That would be ideal. Don't look in the ceiling and don't look on the floor. Look a little higher than your head. All right. He looks up a little bit, crawling down. I think you could have squatted more if you did it faster, to be honest. Oh, this is 2. A little bounce at the bottom, but like pretty solid overall. Let's see the bench. I've got 2 benches filmed. I don't remember if this is the lightest or the heaviest. So this is a so-called bodybuilder bench. You can see that Josh's back is really flat. It just lays on the bench, and the back is not engaged. So if you want to focus on building your pecs and your triceps, this is the way to go. But if you want to bench as much as possible and also build your back while doing this, then this is not a way to go. You've probably seen on Instagram how I bridge. I even get my feet up on the bench. That's a little too much for some people. It helps me personally. You don't have to do this for sure, but as long as you pretend somebody's pulling you by your upper chest and it pops up, especially when the bar is going down, your chest reaches to the bar and your feet firmly press into the floor, your knees press out, you feel that your butt is pressing against the bench. So it's like you have the points that you can kind of press against: floor, bench, your back, your upper back, then you're good. You'll see Josh is shifting his feet a little bit, so it could have probably helped him if you didn't. And again, I think we went heavier later, but it still looked pretty solid. The bar went down, up and down very, very smoothly. So the bar path was pretty clean. And let's see, deadlift. So Josh is using alternating grip. You see one of the hands is over and one is under. That's cool. I usually recommend just doing over. The reason for that being, I have scoliosis. A lot of people have scoliosis and a lot of people have back problems. I kind of don't want for those problems to perpetuate and get worse. If this works for you, you can do this. Just be mindful that most lifters, they don't alternate. They pick one way, say my right hand's over, my left hand is under, and they just always pull like this. And if you pull like this for a long period of time with a lot of weight, that can throw your body off. So my coach and I, we recommend doing over. And if you're not competing, you can use lifting straps. They're $10. They tie the bar to your hands and super cozy. I've sent you guys links for lifting straps a million of times. So you can either use chalk. I'll teach you how to hook grip. So you grip over your thumb. Or you buy lifting straps. Over under is cool if it doesn't mess with your back, but I'm kind of trying to veer clients away from it. All right. So I would say another mistake is re-gripping while your butt is down. So you usually wanna when you fix a point, you wanna keep that point, right? You come to the squat rack, you put your hands in the barbell, they're glued to the barbell. You start benching, you put your hands in the barbell, then you start bridging. You do not let go of the bar. If you let go of the bar, then your whole like bridge, your whole construction collapses, right? So if you decide to re-grip, just stand up, shake it off, and grip again. All right, big breath. That was actually not bad. And you see how he's locked out all the way? So his hips are pushed forward and his shoulders are pushed back. That should be like the ending position of all deadlifts. So that was pretty cool. I think if we took the shoes off that had some padding, we could have pulled some more weight, but it was still pretty solid. Boom. Cool. We've looked at a ton of videos. Questions?
I have a question about squats.
Yes, sir.
I was watching Lisa's because you couldn't really see mine in the video that I squatted with, but on hers, I don't know if this is true or not, but I was wondering about the placement of your knees. Is it fine if your knees go in front of the ends of your toes as far as when you come down? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It depends on the length of your legs, honestly, the length of your extremities. So my legs are long. They probably go a little forward. I'll tell you the fix for that. It's not super good if they go more forward than they should. So the fix for that is you push them out.
Right. Okay. So it doesn't necessarily matter that they're over your knees or behind them.
If what is over the knees?
Like it doesn't necessarily matter if your knees are over the fronts of your toes or not, as long as your back is still like neutral. And
I would say I would rephrase this question and say, are your knees caving in? Because if you're squatting and you're getting up and they're caving in and then getting out, then they're probably gonna go surpass the toes. But knees surpassing the toes is a less pressing issue than if knees are caving in. So if you push them out on the way up, then you've solved what you need to solve. So as long as your toes, say your toes are pointing really out, and then your knees have to point to the toes, and you have to have good hip mobility. So when you get up, let me see if I can show you. So when you get up, this doesn't happen. My toes are over there, then my knees need to stay here. Okay? If my hips, like I can't go wider, then I need to turn my toes in a little bit, and then my knees can go more forward, but they will still follow my toes, and this won't happen. Because if this happens, and you see this in the mirror, you need to do two things. Lower the weight, fix your stance. Okay?
That was a good move for the club, though.
Cool. More questions? No more questions. Yes, Lisa.
Lifting straps and wrist straps serve two different purposes.
Yes. lifting
Okay.
straps, and I can go get them for you if you want. They're in my bag over there.
Okay.
Okay, give me 30 seconds. Ta-da! All right, here's my disgusting bag. It stinks a lot. Okay, well, while we're looking at this, may as well show y'all what else I have in my bag. I have a band for warming up shoulders, 25 pounds, very light. Before every workout, I just grab it, and with my straight arms, I do this, and I rotate it like all the way around, make sure my shoulder joint is warm, plus rotating all the joints during gymnastics, right? Ball for my facial release. I stick it in between the wall and me, roll my chest, roll my neck, roll my back, roll the top of my glutes, roll the bottom of my erectors. If your poor little fingers cannot deadlift and they are just hitting it, you can get tape. This is special deadlifting tape. I find it no different than a regular athletic tape that you can get at CVS for $1. This is $7, this is $1, there's no difference. This is even worse because it's wider and my fingers are not that wide. So I have that. I got knee sleeves for heavy squats. And to your question, what's the difference between wraps and straps? So these are lifting straps. They are made to attach the barbell to you or you to the barbell or both. You get this arrow to point down your wrist. So you put it on like that. It's going to come not attached. It's going to come like so. So you take it, stick the strap through the hole, and then you put it on your wrist. Make sure the arrow points down and the strap points at your big, what is this called? Thumb? Yes?
Thumb.
Okay, English. At your thumb. Then you come to the barbell. You come to the barbell. This is the barbell. You're going to grab it and then deadlift. Right? Too heavy. Your hand lets go. You take this, wrap it around, you grab on top, and now you do not need to grab this anymore. You just put pressure on the strap, and because it's wrapped around, you can wrap it twice if you want. I just wrap it once. You just need to put pressure on the bar, and it's just gonna stay. If you're doing pull-ups and your hands let go, you can do the same thing. You can be here, wrap it around the pull-up bar, and then you don't really need to hold yourself up anymore. Super convenient. Love these things. So those are straps. Now wrist wraps. Wrap around your wrist, logically. So I just take it and I wrap this around my wrist. Very tight. Like so. Do you see how high this is?
Yeah, that's another question I had because I keep forgetting to use them, but I used them once and I felt like they were hitting more here, which I know logically doesn't make sense. I probably should have had it up here.
So what are we protecting here?
You're protecting the joint, right?
Yes, you're protecting the joint. So this thing has to be covering the bend. So if you put it lower than the bend, you're protecting your bone, which is already good to go.
Wait, I'm gonna grab mine while you're talking.
Yeah. So these are competition straps. You can get cheaper straps. Doesn't matter, long, short. Only recommendation is don't get them the smallest size. Get them at least like, I don't know, at least 24, 26 inches. These are, I don't know how many inches they're. I think they're medium. And I don't like that they are rubbery on the inside because now my wrists are nice and calloused. Like my skin here actually, like, it feels like sandpaper a little bit. So, you know. And don't get them super stretchy. Like this is as much as mine stretch. Super stretchy ones are for beginners and they don't really protect anything. So get the ones that are hard. I can send you some links if you want. Remind me if you want to buy this. I'll send you links for the good ones, the hard ones, whatever you feel like. You can get them on Amazon. They're pretty generic. What were you gonna say, Lisa?
Does that look like it's sitting right? It still looks low to me though.
It's low. It's low. It needs to go like up to here. It needs to be hard to bend your wrist in it. If it's hard to bend your wrist, that is good. And if your hand almost loses circulation because it's so darn tight, it's also good. They need to be put on immediately before your exercise and take them off immediately after you get off. You also probably have seen on Instagram, after I'm done with like my squat, first thing I unbuckle the belt and then I unwrap these because they're so tight, like my hands are getting red and blue.
Mm-hmm. I think what's happening is I'm letting this guide me, which is too long. So
I got rid of it. I don't even have that. Like mine have, mine have this, which is supposedly I'm supposed to like put the strap through and then tighten it on my wrist, but I really don't like this setup. So what you can do is you can just ignore that little thumb band, and when you put it on, you just put it where you want it, grab it with your fingers, which will make it high enough. If you grab it like that with your fingers, it'll make it high enough. And then you grab it after you've wrapped it once, it kind of fixates itself, and then you can keep wrapping. And there you got it. See, I cannot bend my wrist. That means it's high enough.
that's a little better, I think.
Yeah, that looks better. I would even still put it higher. I mean, play with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. More questions. No, more questions. All right. Do you guys want to jump into a presentation real quick, or are you bored and tired? You're going to fall asleep, and we're going to save this for next time. Presentation, or I can show you my lifting videos, or what do you want?
Presentation will work for me.
Presentation will work. Yes. Thumbs up. Cool. Let's do this. It's not going to be that long. I think. Alrighty. So what everybody wants is burn the fat and keep the muscle, right? So a lot of folks come to me and they would tell me like, oh, my body fat percent is this. Or like, I want to look like this. So what do you want to look like, your body fat percent, or where you keep your fat? Or if you're a beginner or advanced, I don't care. It doesn't matter, okay? Where you keep your fat is determined by your genetics, not you, unfortunately, unless you go to a plastic surgeon. How much of it you have also, like, I mean, it's great if it's a healthy amount. It's okay if it's a lot. Like, this is our beginning data. You can lose the fat and build the muscle at home or in the gym. That also doesn't matter. So don't worry about that stuff, all right? What matters is genetics. So people underestimate how genetics matters, but like you may have noticed, strong and tall people surprisingly have strong and tall kids, right? So if you know that your parents say when they were kids, they excelled at some sport, or they were super strong, or they were super muscular, consider those things. Or if you come from a family that genetically is good at something else, that does matter. That doesn't mean it should stop you if everybody in your family is obese or they never did sports, but that means it's going to be a little harder for you than this other person, and this other person who, dieted for a couple of months and got a six-pack. You just got to lower your expectations a little bit. Like, I know everybody in my family is apple-shaped. We all have belly fat, no matter how lean the person is. So what can I do? Consistency and mindset. I would not negative talk myself if I can. That happens, and then I catch myself and just tell myself that it's going to be okay. I made it to the gym. I did things that were in my control. I ate well. I drank a bunch of water. Took my vitamins. I went to the gym. I called my friend. I thanked somebody for something and expressed gratitude. And it was a good day. You can only do what you can do. If you have negative mindset, if you go to the gym because you ate pizza out of guilt, that's I don't like that mindset, really. How hard you train. So don't be an idiot. Don't train too hard. I think that most of y'all are good and y'all won't do this. Warm up enough, but then try to go a little harder every workout. If you're lifting with me in person, I'll take care of it. But if you're lifting by yourself, then you take care of it and think like, yeah, I'm tired, but this feels okay. Once you say got a barbell on your back and you start squatting and it feels kind of heavy, but then you add like a little bit each set, and you add a little bit. At some point you're like, I actually can do this. This actually felt kind of okay. So you kind of get into it. So do not be afraid to go harder than last time. You don't need to jump and go extra hard. It's the matter of you go a little bit harder every time, but in the long term, you get stronger and you lose more fat and you keep the muscle. Okay? Tracking. Most of y'all know that I really hate when, the worst nightmare for me is if you guys track for half a day and then be like, screw it, I went to a restaurant. Who has done this? I've done this before. I've done this myself. I was like, everything is so good, oatmeal and protein and apples. And then I went to a restaurant and I had 3 beers and pizza and fries. And I was like, my coach will kill me if she sees that. I'm just going to be like, I went out, but I'm not going to log it. That screws with my data. You know it. You can always tell me in the message, hey, I went to a restaurant. But I would rather for you to log it, because even if you can log it imprecisely. Because if you log some average pizza because you forgot the name of a restaurant and some average amount of beers that are approximately closer to what you ate rather than 0 is less accurate. And that whatever other thing you log is more accurate. And we're going to have more precise data. And I can adjust for it in your next week's nutrition. So don't be ashamed of it. I literally have had clients who would eat out 3 meals a day, and it was a nightmare, both for me and for them. But it is manageable. How well do you recover? Do take rest days, please. Even if you have ambitious goals, there's only that much fat your body can lose a week. There's only that much muscle your body can gain a week. So unfortunately, we cannot expedite this unless you take performance-enhancing drugs, which I recommend nobody does. Please don't do this. And if you do this, tell me first. I won't judge you. Again, we can talk about it. I know people who take them and can at least tell you which ones are worse than the others. But I do not recommend it for beginners, at least, or intermediate. If you're going to Mr. Olympia, that would make sense. If you're a beginner and you want to recover faster or progress faster, just got to get patient. Nutrition exercise program. Well, if you stick to it, then it's cool. If you can't stick to it and life happens, you can still get some activity in your daily life to just stay healthy. But I try to optimize your nutrition and exercise program for you. If you have problems with it, we can also always talk. TEF, thermic effective food. That's one thing that could be new for y'all today that I actually want to talk about. So what is thermic effective food? That is essentially how much energy your body spends on digesting something. It is hard for our bodies to break down fiber and protein. So the TEF of fiber and protein is higher. So for example, if you eat nuts versus that have some fiber versus eating peanut butter, it's easy, or oil, if you drizzle oil on your stuff, it's easier for your body to process that. It has one of the lowest TEFs, rather than if you chew on nuts or if you chew on a meat rather than drink a protein shake. Yeah, that protein has a higher TEF, but it's a powder. So your body, you don't chew it, your body takes less energy to digest and to break it down. So I would try to eat whole foods that you chew. No fast foods. Yeah, that makes sense because there's a lot of very easily processable things in there, right? They put carbs and oils and fats that are highly palatable. It's hard to stop to eat, and they get absorbed by your body very quickly. So unless you just had a killer workout and you need that insulin to help the body build the muscle, because insulin builds both things. It builds fat and muscle. If you eat something that's easily digestible, you can get either or. I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. So unless you're in that category, I would steer towards the foods that digest a little longer. Okay. Other things that burn energy while you consume them. So while there are no 0-calorie foods, like people say, oh, celery, it actually is negative calories, which means if I eat celery all day, I'm gonna die. What does that mean? Like it's the same as going for a run? No, that's not true. You cannot get food with negative calories. However, you can drink things that raise your body temperature, that make you more jittery, make you move more. So you expand energy when you drink energy drinks, coffee, which is an energy drink, and I think cold water, like ice cold water, also makes your body burn like 10 calories per big cup. Not that it really matters. I hate cold water. I never drink it, but I drink coffee all the time. So those are the tiny things that could matter, but I would rather count on the rest of your food, the main meals, rather than drinks. But if you can add coffee and an energy drink before the workout, that's not going to kill you. The main part, how fast can we lose the weight or gain the muscle? Actually, the muscle gains are really slow. We can talk about that next time because we're almost out of time right now. Y'all probably need to go carry on with your Sunday. So 1% of body weight per week in fat loss would be optimal. If you are obese, then you can lose more and not lose muscle. That is important. So you may have noticed like people on The Bigger Loser or all of these other shows and like on Instagram, how they lose the weight so quickly. The morbidly obese people, they have so much fat, they can actually, their body doesn't need it, doesn't do anything with it. And because they're bigger, they expend so much more energy during workouts and during walking, during doing anything. So if you are bigger, regardless if it's fat or muscle, you expend more calories during an activity period, right? So they can lose more muscle, lose more fat during any kind of workouts. Here's the trick. Huge people who have a lot of muscle also can do that. So the more muscle we get and the less fat we get, the more body fat we can burn during the workout as well, while not being obese. So that's a plus. And it's easier to actually stay leaner if you do have more muscle for that exact reason. Muscle is metabolically active. There's blood vessels that go through it. Your body needs to supply oxygen to it. Your body needs to take care of it. The fat is easy for your body to store. It's light. It's nice. You've consumed energy. Body put it into fat, stored it somewhere, and it hangs out. It does not need to do anything with it. But muscle is taxing for your body. So you actually burn more energy if you have more muscle, which is a very nice perk. Y'all know that I really like slow progress. I don't like big jumps in fat loss or in muscle gain. If there is a big progress in muscle gain, there is something fishy, that's for sure. So if you can lose a pound a week, that's great. I usually do half a pound for me, because otherwise I'm just like starving myself and doing too much cardio, and that's not enjoyable. So if you enjoy it in slow but consistent, that's good. If your weight loss is faster, I have one client right now that's just not listening to me, and she keeps eating like 700, 800 calories. She would go eat like, I don't know, twice as much as she needs, and then she would drop to like less than 1,000 calories and keep that for a couple days. That kills your metabolism. Please don't do this. If you feel guilty because you went out, had a birthday party, whatever, you drank a bottle of wine and cried and ate more ice cream on top and then order takeout, that's okay. Eat normal next day. Maybe eat a little bit less. But don't starve yourself. You can skip breakfast. You can go for a long hike. I don't know. But do not starve yourself. That absolutely destroys your metabolism. If you do this for a long period of time, that changes how you look and how your metabolism is forever. The longer you do this, the more damaging it is to your body, and especially for women, for our nerves and for our hormones. So there's a reason why bikini girls lose their period and all bodybuilders lose their period, is they're so starved. It's just not sustainable and not healthy. Their weight loss has gotten to an unhealthy level. So don't do this unless you're a competitor. Y'all are not competitors, so we can just stay healthy and not go there. Okay. A lot of people are worried about keeping the strength while they're losing the fat. So on the left, I think I'm 2 weeks before show. I'm smiling here, but I'm really hungry and angry, and I don't feel good, and I don't feel strong. These pictures, I think I took like 2 days ago, and I forgot how to pose, as you can see. I forgot where to put my camera. They don't look as good, right? But I feel good, I feel strong, and I have enough body fat to keep progressing in the weight room. On the left, I was crying in the gym that day that I went there, because I could not do half of what I used to do in the beginning of that prep, and it was really demoralizing. And my coach also at the time did not tell me that when I'm leaner, I should not shoot for the same weights. So I was shooting for the same weights. It did not work. I didn't injure myself, but I was like all sore and hurt, and it was not a good experience. So essentially, for men and for women, there's different body fat percentage of leanness at which you really should think about relaxing in the weight room. For women, it's probably 14, 15%. Y'all are not close to that yet. If I check your pictures and see if we're getting close to that, I'll definitely talk to you and adjust your weights and add some food. But so far, everybody's good. For men, it could be lower, and it really depends on your genetics too. So you'll kind of feel it. If you notice that you feel like shit in the gym for days and days, and you are pretty lean, you may be at that point, and you need to eat more food. The six-pack is not worth the muscle loss and the body aches, trust me. Cool. The last thing I want to wrap with is make your environment easy. There's a reason people meal prep, because it's easy. You're hungry. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I have so much work. And then you're about to make a bad decision and like order pizza. Or you can go to your fridge and pull out a container and stick it in the microwave, and it's delicious, and you just eat that. If you do not have that container, what are the chances you're actually going to get pizza? I usually like to eat nuts at these times. I eat nuts and protein bars, which, I mean, protein bars are okay, but it's not a dinner. And I'm going to eat like 5 of them, which is over my calorie limit. So it doesn't matter if it's protein or not. If I'm over my calories, I'm going to gain fat. And if I eat nuts, nuts are super high calorie. I can eat 500 calories in a little tiny bowl. I'm over my calories. I need to go hike for another hour tomorrow so that I stay on track. That's annoying. I don't want to do that. So make your environment easy for yourself to succeed. Get rid of the crap in your house. Your kids don't need to eat all of the Pop-Tarts and all of the chips and all of those other sugary things. They can eat apples and Whole Foods. I mean, I hope they can. So like a lot of parents tell me, oh, this is for my kids. Yeah, is the wine for your kids too? Is all of this other stuff for your kids too? I don't know. So keep things that are easy and healthy and fit in your plan around you. Give the things that don't fit in your plan to your friends and neighbors if they want it, or throw it away if nobody should eat that, right? And make a plan B, make a plan C, make a plan D. Okay, if I order pizza, what am I gonna do next day? Am I gonna skip breakfast because I'm gonna be too full? Am I just gonna like go for an extra little bit of cardio each day for the rest of the week? Am I gonna talk to my coach? So yeah, pretty much. Oh, I have one more slide. Sorry. Well, that's kind of an obvious one. Progress versus outcome goals. I think I've recorded an Instagram video on this recently. Essentially, your progress or process goals would be, did I go to the gym 3 times this week? Yes, good job. If you didn't lose any weight, your body's in control. You're not in control, right? If you went to the gym, you're in control. If you ate well and you ate home-cooked meals or like whatever's on your meal plan, you're in control. And if your body was like, I'm stubborn, I'll lose the weight next week, then just be consistent and it'll lose the weight next week. Be more stubborn than your body. It will fight you, trust me. But you can measure what you do. You can't measure what actually happens. You can put in the work, that's it. And then give yourself a break when you've put in most of the work. Be like, today's a Saturday. It's my friend's baby shower. I'm not gonna do anything. And you've been looking forward to that Saturday for the whole week. You knew it was there. You were excited. If that happens sporadically, sure. Once a week is your cheat meal. You can get sick. You can travel. Anything can happen. But try to plan for these things. And if everything's going so smoothly for a while, almost expect that it's going to happen. Expect that everything is so great. And I don't know, you're just going to have a breakdown tomorrow and not do anything, because that's kind of how life is. So cool. Yay. We're done. Presentation. I really tried. Questions?
Awesome video.
Thank you. I hope it was useful stuff.
That was super informative.
Oh,
There's a lot of stuff I didn't know.
Really? Like what?
Like the thermal, whatever that was about.
Thermal effect of food. Yeah, I put it in there because so many people are asking me, and I was like, I just need to tell y'all.
Yeah. And I never hit I don't think I've hit my goals once, nutrition goals, as far as getting all those percentages right. I have.
In the beginning, when we were,
I feel like I don't.
You started hitting the protein goals, and you were really proud of it.
Yeah, I don't know how to get there, because it's like if protein goes up, fat goes up. I don't know how to get protein up.
But I wrote you a meal plan that shows you exactly how to get there. If you eat what's on the meal plan, you're gonna exactly get there.
But the meal plan, maybe I'm looking at it wrong. I thought it was like one day of an example.
Yeah. Have you tried that one day?
No.
Well, then what can I do?
But what do I do from there? Just eat that every day?
No, I asked you to try that out and let me know how it goes and give me feedback. If you don't try it and don't give me feedback, then I can't write you another one.
Okay.
Or if you're like, if you look at it and you're like, I hate all of these things, write me a new one. This is awful. Then I'll be like, all right, and I'll write you a different one. But you gotta tell me something, girl. I can't read your mind. I don't know what you like, what you don't like. I know you like peanut butter jelly sandwiches and you can't eat gluten. So that's as far as I know.
Part of my challenge with it was I couldn't print it and I needed it in my hand.
You could print it. I can send it to you.
If you can send it in a PDF, That would help because,
Yeah, sure.
okay. Awesome.
I think you still did really well, Lisa. I don't think you should bash yourself on like not really being able to hit the macros. Because in the beginning, you struggled on getting the protein up without getting the fat up, like you said. So it's either, especially if you're vegan or vegetarian, it's harder to get the protein up without the fat or the carbs. But there are ways, and there are foods, like I gave you a list of foods that are higher in protein and lower in fat or carbs, especially if you supplement with a protein shake, but you don't have to. Like I don't drink shakes every day, and I think I usually eat less than 200 carbs, about 50 fat, and probably like 120, 150 protein. So
Yeah, I did start doing the protein shakes just on the days that I work out.
that's fine.
And I started eating tofu, which I didn't want to eat before, and that's great. But even tofu has a good amount of fat in it, right?
Half protein, half fat, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I need to find the TVP though. I need to order that. I saw.
Also, I remember you had reservations about fake meats. Some fake meats are great. They don't have pretty much anything processed. They just have like herbs, like soy sauce or a flavor, and the either soy or vitamin gluten or nutritional yeast as the main proteiny ingredients, and I sent you a list of the ones that are higher in protein and lower in fat and carbs, so you can try one of those and see if it works. They taste pretty much like real meat. So
what were you saying? I didn't hear the first part. What was that you're talking about?
I was talking about fake meats, and that you had reservations about fake meats, how they're all like processed and stuff.
Right.
Which some definitely are, but some are not. And I can send y'all a list again. I'll put it in the group. How about that?
Cool.
All right. Cool. Any more questions? No more questions. Y'all are falling asleep. That's okay. It was a long presentation. All right, y'all. Well, I will let you carry on with your Sundays then. And
my heart rate is still up.
What? What did you say?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just saying essentially that I'm gonna go write y'all's plans for the next week, and I will talk to you very shortly.
Oh, I did have a question about the
Awesome.
the workouts. Like when you go in there, how do you know what to choose? Like I see what you're talking about now, where to find under program. But then once I go to program, how do I know what to
Numbers,
choose?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Say that again?
They're numbered, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna tell me what number?
They have the number in the name. They say week 2, workout 1.
Okay, so the week number is by the week of the month?
No, Tanina and Josh, you guys can leave if you want. I'll show Lisa's her dash and show her the workouts. Okay. Thanks for coming. All right. Stop the